What's going on? Welcome to q.v.o Games. My name is Juan. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. This video is going to be a games leaving the collection of March 2023. This is a video series where I curate my collection to start finding the amount of games I have into a smaller collection of games which I play normally, not ones that I have for display 24/7 that I don't really play or use. Therefore, these games can either be sent out somewhere else where someone else could possibly enjoy them more than I can. Because sitting here on my shelf and just looking cute isn't the best way to have them. So, we're getting rid of a bunch of games. It's definitely some really massive ones that I'm kind of not really too sure about getting rid of, but they're sitting there, they take up a lot of space, and they're not being played. And I am running out of room in my small studio space that I have here. So I'm trying to curate the collection and start getting rid of games that I don't really play or like or enjoy anymore. And let's start off with something big here. This is going to be a massive one that I've been waiting for a long time, but is now leaving as of March 2023. Super Fantasy Brawl. I have so many boxes for this. It's crazy. And I was hoping to minimize the amount of boxes I have by getting the storage box that Mythic Games put out. It's like a really nice big white box that stores everything in it. However, the thing about doing that is that this game, they don't have that box available anymore. And I ended up actually buying foam inserts, but no box to put them in. And it was just really strange. And the thing about Super Fantasy Brawl, it's actually a great game. It's not a bad game. It's a fun to just bring out and duke it out with some friends in an arena with different characters who have abilities. And you just can play. I mean, you have an arsenal of just different characters to play as. I mean, you have the Force of Nature box. You have all these characters with the mages and the big demon and the wings. It's pretty crazy. So there's just so many characters to pick from, and I just can't fathom storing this many boxes in my space. It's just too many to have around. And as much as I enjoy the game has to go somewhere where it's going to be enjoyed and it's going to be played, and someone who's actually going to use the game, unlike me, who I just have it sit in my shelf and takes up a lot of space. Super Fantasy Brawl, leaving the collection in March of 2023. This next game is going to be an interesting one because it is a game that I've been waiting for to come to Kickstarter for a long. Well, it came to Kickstarter, or crowdfunding, not Kickstarter, and then all of a sudden it just didn't get played after I played it once or twice. And it's not because it's not a good game either. This is actually a pretty good game, but the issue about this game is that it doesn't get played because of the genre of style of the game. It's actually a pretty cool game, and I am on the fence of this game so much. Twisted Fables by. Ooh, let me actually take this out here. Twisted Fables by Dimensions. Actually, if I take that off, it's all going to fall off. So let's actually not do that. I already did it. Let's go all the way. So I'm going to show you that it comes with a couple things. And the cool thing about this game, it's similar to a Street Fighter game. Not the Street Fighter board game, not to be confused with that. But it's like a game where you are fighting in two-dimensional space. Like this, right? Mortal Kombat, Injustice, games like that. And you're playing as Fables. So like Mulan, Snow White. And they all have their own abilities and things they do, and they fight on a grid that is two-dimensional, right? You go this way, basically. And they have different abilities, like cards say, move that person 2 space backs, move forward, attack twice. And you're doing that by collecting cards. It's kind of almost like a deck-building game, in that sense. And honestly, this game hurts so much to let go because I think it's actually a lot of fun. I haven't even showed you the main box here. There's so many little boxes here, but it's all contained in the sleeve, which is actually really good, and I like that a lot. But it's a great game. It's honestly a really good game. I really enjoyed the game. It just doesn't get played. And the reason why is because normally I have a player count that is so high. No, sorry. I'm playing games that require a higher player count typically, and I'm making content all the time. So it doesn't really get brought out. And when it's only 2 people, usually it's going to be a light game night. So I'll bring out Capers, or I'll bring out Radlands, or another 2-player game that I would really enjoy. Or it'd be a little bit quicker because usually when it's 2 of us, we don't really. Well, when it's 2 people at the game night, we just can't pick up something quick, get some games in, and call it a day. And this does take a little bit more time to set up, organize the cards, set up your miniatures, all that stuff. However, I still admit this game is a really cool and unique game, and I think it deserves all the praise in the world because it's a great game. It's just one that I just don't play, regrettably, and that is a sad part. Sad part about content creating sometimes, too, is the fact that you just never have time sometimes to enjoy all your games. It seems like I'm always just playing something new, something different, and doesn't mean I don't enjoy to go back to the classics at times and play different games. It just means that I don't have time to revisit a game that I may or may not enjoy. Revisit a game that I can probably get the same experience from a different game in a smaller amount of time or an easier amount of time. That's the thing about that. So Twisted Fables, it is unfortunately in the collection in March. There's a slight chance that I might not, because I might end up missing it and not get rid of it, but it's probably gonna leave. So I'm getting rid of these two small games as well. I'm going to get rid of more small games eventually, but Trust Game Superhero and Virtual Reef Diver. I'm going to be donating these games to a local library here that has like a kids section for board games, only because I feel like that's where they belong better. And also, Half Monster Games unfortunately is no longer publishing, but they are still, the owner of Half Monster Games, I forgot his name, and I'm just really bad with names, but I definitely remember his face perfectly. He was such a nice guy. He sent this over, and he accidentally sent 2 copies, and he was like, hey, do a giveaway or something. I'm like, I just never got around to the giveaway, so I'm just going to donate instead to the library and have them enjoy the game with the kids and such. Virtual Reef Diver. It's actually a card game. It's actually a pretty neat card game. I really enjoy this. It's actually a good way to teach kids and like have lessons on like maybe like aqua, like when it's like teaching about like aquamarine animals and deep diving, of course, as well. And you play as a team and you're trying to guess the different details of different animals on the matching grid system. And it's actually a pretty neat game to teach kids to, and the game teaches you a lot. Trust Man Superhero is more of a game where like similar. You know, there's a lot of games that are similar to like Cards Against Humanities, but they're not really just like it. You pull a set of cards, and you try to form the best superhero. You're trying to convince the main player, like, hey, I'm the better superhero for your situation. And you build a superhero out, and you do a whole thing. Really cool game, honestly. I already have a copy, and I play it probably every once in a while with like, it's like a game I bring out a lot of people who don't really board game too much. And Trust Me Superhero is a good one for that, but I already have a copy. So this one is leaving the collection. I'm just going to be donating to the library to get rid of it. Next one is going to be a game I've been waiting for a while, and it came in, I played it, and I'm like, well, there's other games that that does this better. And it's just going to be Cleos by Gigamet Games. Cleos was on Kickstarter, came to retail. This is the retail edition, I believe. I don't think I got it, because I got this on clearance for like $18. I'm like, oh, perfect, I would love to try that. So I've been waiting for it to come out in retail, because I knew it was coming, and then like saw it on clearance, I'm like, oh, perfect, bro, let's pick it up. So honestly, the game's actually, it's interesting. The game plays at 4 players. It plays 2 to 4 players. And I think I lied. 1 to 5 players. I completely lied. The game does not play well at 2. I think it doesn't play well at 2. I think at 4 or 5 is where it shines more. It seems at 2 you're just going back and forth, and it seemed like the area control portion of the game doesn't really work or function properly for me. And you just kind of like, seems like you just step into a hex just for the other guy to hex you, like go in for a counterattack right after. So you have to like pre-plan those movements, but I don't think there's enough cards in there or abilities to counter that section of the game, or that part of the game. However, at 4 and 5, I feel like that is actually going to be a better option for this game. Because that seems like everyone's out to get somebody, and it's not just like one person preparing a counterattack on you to move in onto you. However, the game is pretty unique though, the way it plays. I really do enjoy that part. Just the thing about it is that, yet again, there's other games that do whatever Cleos does better. If I want to play like a 4 or 5 player area control game, I mean, Blood Rage is a really good one that I really enjoyed. I haven't played it recently, and I'm like, that is a phenomenal game. I don't know, in Cleos when I played Blood Rage. And there's other area control games that I enjoy as well. So Cleos, unfortunately, is leaving the collection this month, and it is going to be sold. And that's it for that. And next is a big one. So give me 1 sec here while I grab this big game. Bard Song, Legends of the 4x board games. Not just Bard Song, by the way. Also the Fables box. And you cannot forget the Lost Levels as well. This is all leaving the collection. Everything here is leaving. As of today, filming this video, it's actually leaving already. Bard Song is leaving. You know, interesting enough, I was waiting for Bard Song to come to Kickstarter for a long time. And it's not the fact that, like, I don't enjoy Bard Song. It's just, like, it's such a big game. Like, look how big this box is. I mean, you can't see, I think, the scale. My arm for scale, I guess. It's the size of my arm and then some. I don't have big arms either. I mean, my forearm, I guess. But that's not a good scale, size for scale. But just a big game. It's massive. It doesn't fit in the couch. It fits on top of my shelf. And that's fine. It can definitely sit there, but not being played. It just sits there. It doesn't get played. So, and the thing about that is because the game has amazing miniatures. The game has a really cool, interesting story. I read the storybook because I'm like, well, let's get rid of the game. I want to at least know the story. And also, but the thing about it is it feels grindy. It feels like you're playing the game, and it seems like it takes so long to complete a dungeon, so long to level up, so long to do X, and it just seems like it's a story or a section just takes forever. This is a game that would replace, if you are not playing, for example, a game like Gloomhaven, you're like, I want a long, thick story dungeon crawling game, Bardsung is it for you. This is what that is. But I'm playing through Frosthaven. I have 6 other campaign-heavy games to play through. And whenever there's a thing that I just don't enjoy about Bardsung too much, about even putting it out, setting it up, and all that stuff, I can't fathom keeping it. And it's such a massive box. So it comes to a choice of keep it and play it in 4, 5, 6 years. Because there's so many other games I'm playing in between those campaign dungeon crawling games that I'm playing already. Gloomhaven, Frosthaven eventually, which is two are both massive games, take up a lot of time. Madara. There's also, I mean, a bunch of other dungeon crawlers I have. Tainted Grail, part like the Kings of Avalon, I think it's called. The next one's coming in as well. ISS Vanguard is coming in. Unsettled. I mean, I just can't. I really can't. There's no way. Chronicles of Donagard is coming in as well, and I just can't fathom keeping this one for that long. I mean, Bardsung is going to be leaving the collection this month, and I am sad to see it go, but I'm happy I don't have to ship it because someone locally is going to take it. So that's actually a big one. That's it for the video. These are the games leaving the collection. This game is massive. It's, by the way, beautiful miniatures in that game. I would keep it just for the miniatures alone, but that would be a waste because I have so many games to mess with as it is. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate it so much. Made it this far, that's awesome. I appreciate that a lot. That helps the channel a lot more than just a comment or a like. So you watching this video and just watching it through, that's awesome and amazing. Thank you, I appreciate it. Well, let me know if you're leaving, if any games are leaving your collection this month. Let me know in the comment section if you're maybe getting rid of some games. If you're interested, I mean, I do typically sell these games online. So if you're interested in one of these games, reach out to me. It's like, hey, how much for X game? And I'll give you the price. I haven't priced any of these, but I'm trying to like not have stacks of games to be sold like just laying around. So I'm just trying to push them out as quickly as possible. Thank you for watching the video and have a good one.